we're back with Converge, and I'm sitting with two mayors. We have Mayor Perry from Hilton Head Island and Mayor Phillips from Port Royal. In our first conversation, we started to talk about the challenges that we are having and the excitement that we're having here in the Beaufort County, in the Lowcountry, about tourism, employment, and work. So let's pick it up from a little bit of the challenges. I mean, we do have to look at our workforce. And tell us what's the latest, what you guys are talking about.
Right, so for us, workforce is a big challenge. It creates a lot of issues across the board, from traffic to service. We've had a lot of businesses leave the island and their employees drive over. So what we're looking at is, what's the housing? What can we do to create housing? And we've got a tract of land that we partnered with One Street Partners out of Atlanta, and it's a project called North Point. And we hope to have that under construction in 2025, finishing up in 26. And it'll bring in about 160 units. And 50% will be over a certain area median income, and 50% will be under a certain area median income. So that is true workforce housing. And in perpetuity, it'll always be workforce housing. It's the first of its kind that has been developed, and we're working with some major capital partners throughout the country to make this happen. And once we get it off the floor, we hope that it will spread to other areas as well. But this is our first step in trying to bring employees to Hilton Head. Back home. And then we've got another tract of land that we're working on. It's about 7 acres to create another 40 to 50 units. And that'll be coming forward in the next 3 to 4 months. So we'll start talking more about that.
So how do you control that, having it to be an employee housing versus somebody want to coming to the island and having a vacation home? Right.
So first of all, you can't buy it. It's only rentals. And second of all, you have to live here. You have to work here to live there.
Okay.
Right, so you're required every year to check in, and we'll see pay stubs, and the management will take over. It'll be tiresome for management, but it's got to be a strictly workforce community of all income ranges.
Are there any buildings that we're taking down to rebuild for this? I mean, I thought we've had some large empty buildings, but they seem to be getting
right. So on the public sector, no, we're not. We're not touching any of that. Private sector has done some things, and they've stepped up, and there's a couple of different projects that are in the works that I'm not able to speak about at the moment, but that'll bring additional units to us as well. So there are multiple opportunities that will be coming forth.
Okay, so Mayor Phillips, do you have those issues as well with employee housing? Is that something that you feel yet, or are you still a little bit too new in this growth?
So we're just in a different situation in Port Royal geographically. Hilton Head is an island, one way on, one way off. Whereas Port Royal, if you look at us, we're sitting in this peninsula. We're essentially right in between Ladies Island and Bluffton. Rebo Road, about 30,000 people a day drive through Port Royal going to Ladies Island or to Bluffton. So where we sit geographically, we have a lot of people that can get to Port Royal pretty easily. We have a lot of access to, like I said, Highway 21, Highway 17, and then so we get a lot of movement around Port Royal. So that's a little different as far as the housing issue goes. The biggest thing that we're looking forward and trying to work on in the next couple of years is really trying to grow our commercial base. As we talked about earlier, we've done a great job of attracting people, and our residents have exploded in population, but we really want to focus now on building that commercial base so we can, we can get taxes from business licenses, so we never have to, so we can minimize as much of our, the individual taxes on citizens. So.
Right. When we talk about commercial base, who are we looking at? Who are the commercial businesses?
So the big thing is really trying to up and down Rebo Road. We really want to see that be having more retail opportunities, restaurants, bars, shops. Healthcare is a big thing in Port Royal as well too. Anything that supports our veterans as well too. So those kind of veteran community, healthcare, and then hospitality are kind of the industries that we look at in Port Royal. So.
Right. What about education? Is that a hot topic with you guys? Are you?
Not particularly. I mean, we've got great schools around Port Royal. So I mean, everything I hear from the parents, we had to push back. School started today was the first. Right. It's the first day. But as far as education goes, we've got a lot of great options in Port Royal, and I hear great things from the parents that we have as far as our public schools, private schools, charter schools. We've got a good variety in Port Royal. So.
And that's really important for all of us too, not only for the residents, but also businesses that do want to come to our community as well. They want to make sure they have a workforce, correct? An educated workforce. And that's probably a topic we can talk about too. But we are going to take another break, and we'll be right back with the two mayors. This is Converge.